Hello, hello, welcome to the Circle of Fame. And today we have panel discussion number 7. And the topic of this panel discussion is the power of mastermind unlocking limitless potential. It's so important topic, and we have experts, world-class experts who came today to share their best knowledge, their expertise, and their wisdom today with everyone who is looking for more, who wants to be more, who wants to do more and have more. And today we have the wonderful, amazing experts who can also not only have their knowledge, but also have the passion to share their wisdom with the world. And you're most welcome to contact every one of them who you resonate and learn how you can know more from these people, how you can work with them, because every one of them have book or have a course, have a program, and can make a very big change in your life. And today I would like to start our event with a quote of Napoleon Hill. And he said that no mind is complete by itself. It needs contact and association with other minds to grow and expand. And also Bob Proctor, who was my mentor, said the following: the moment you form a mastermind and alliance, your power is demagnified exponentially. And before we start our event, I would like everyone who participating today, our amazing experts, to introduce themselves. And we will start with new experts who are first day today. And our first expert is Deanna Pelley. Please tell us about yourself, Deanna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deanna Pelley. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the United States, and I'm a clinical mental health therapist, a speaker, and a podcaster, and I'm working on my first book. I've come to learn in my time as a therapist that really the key to resiliency is insight and being able to look inward. We're often looking outside of ourselves for an answer when so much of what we need to do is be able to look inward, and that helps us grow. And so that's part of the message that I'm trying to put out and help people achieve their best and most successful selves.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the next expert who I would like to introduce himself is Tony Buonaiuto.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here. It's like pretty intense, actually. I grew two businesses very successfully in my life. One was a concrete business for 45 years. We put concrete under homes. The other was a dog treat business, and we sold those products online through online sales. My wife and I run that currently. It's very successful. This is my third endeavor so I'm pretty new at like life coaching and online marketing and courses, doing pretty well with it. I'm 100% all in. My niche is like a faith-driven freedom. We help people break free financially, mentally, spiritually, and relationships. And through resilience and strategy, we create life of purpose and independence for people. So that's like me in a nutshell. I'm in Connecticut in the United States. I'm 58 years old and I'm just beginning. So life starts at 58 for me. Here we go. Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Such a great attitude. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And the next is Peter Beckenham.
Hello, Elena. Hello, everybody. My name's Peter Beckenham. I'm a very proud Aussie, but I've been living in a remote little Thai village for the last 28 years. That's a story for another day. I also run 3 masterminds, and my focus is to show online small business owners how to grow their business by ditching the pitch. People are sick and tired of being pitched to, right? Ditching all that rubbish and instead focusing on solving the problems of your ideal potential client. Thank you, Elena.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, it's such a great to have you with us. Rich Kozak. Hi, Rich. Tell us about yourself.
Good morning. Great to be here with you all. Tony, you and I get to connect. I love what you say you do. I think it's the first time I've seen you. So my name is Rich Kozak. I am the CEO of Rich Brands and Impact Driven Publishing. I've spent now almost 50 years defining and languaging brands and launching them. For the last 9 years, and it's going to be a lot more years, I've been focusing not on big companies, but on individuals who want to impact others through their work, through their business, through their gift, through their calling. And people struggle with the idea of brand and how they say what they do and how they position themselves to charge what they're worth. And they evolve. So people don't know that branding is a process. And so I've been teaching it to big companies for years. And now I teach and coach and write individuals so that they evolve their personal brands with a lot of clarity that's missing and with divine purpose. Praise God. We're all here for two reasons. One is to share love and the other is to praise God. And we got to get those right. And the way I share love is I help people to clearly define who they are and what they do in ways that attract exactly what they want to attract. So great to be here.
Thank you, Rich. Yeah, amazing. Such a group, such a powerful group we have today. And also so many varieties. Yeah, so we can see experts in such different fields, but all came today with the passion to share the knowledge. Yes, to share the knowledge and be more, and help everyone to raise awareness, raise consciousness, and be that person who you meant to be. And the next I would like to introduce himself is Kamil Domski.
Hello, Elena. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our lovely listeners listening to this beautiful group, right? So, yes, my name's Kamil Domski. I'm based in the UK, in Midlands. We've done it once or twice, I believe, so far. And today I was particularly excited about this subject because masterminds are really, really exciting for me particularly as well. I'm a CEO and a founder at the Freedom Mastery, and this is where we essentially help people help themselves become financially free through creative property investing, where we don't have to buy assets, but instead we can control them. Now, the power of Mastermind to me is particularly special because I'm running a group every single week and we help people grow themselves. So when we put ourselves into this environment, then obviously we know that people can grow exponentially. And of course, by doing those groups, it helps us to start loving what we do again, start loving what's happening around us, start loving life really. And that's why it's such an amazing group, such an amazing environment today. Thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Kamil. You just told that this is so much because yes, you have started new life, and I resonate with this so much because I spent 3 days in a growth business conference with Grant Cardone, which is the biggest conference in the world, where he was interviewing multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires. Like one guy has $14 billion, and he shared his story that he grew in a very powerful, very poor family. They had 13 children. He was one of 13. They had nothing, and now he has $14 billion dollars. And this is so inspiring when you just listen to these people. When you just listen to these people, you are in that energy. So you can see I'm different today because I just somewhere between my old self and my future self. So I just connected that all those vibes and energy, and I'm not even in my body today. I'm somewhere between. Yeah, so it is really such a great energy to be with successful people, because later we will speak today about the power of mastermind, that it is not just physics, yes, not just what we say, but also it is all processes which happening at the level of subconscious mind, when our mind picks up the energy of the people which we surrounded. And it doesn't matter if we are with them in one room or we are on the line, but when we are together, 9 people, we pick up everyone's energy, everyone's knowledge. And this is why mastermind and such events are so powerful, because no one will leave this event as they were before. And the next one I would like to introduce himself is Will Steele.
Hi, Elena. Thank you. Yes, I'm Will Steele. I've been leading transformational programs and coaching people for 27 years now. I led a program called the Landmark Forum to about 90,000 people worldwide. It's a 3.5-day transformational program. I now lead programs in my own business in the Middle East, transforming the leadership of the Middle East. And I coach mainly entrepreneurs and business owners in leadership and business growth. And yeah, that energy that you're talking about is, I used to lead programs. Used to people who didn't lead programs say, well, isn't it scary when you lead to a big program? And for me, no, it's better. Somehow it's better when there's more people, the more energy, and the more powerful it seems to be. In a small group, people can get away with being, hecklers and jerks. In a large group, it's a bit more confronting for them to do that. And just the overall collective energy really brings power to the conversation. So look forward to our call today.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. Like yesterday, there were 7,500 people in the main room and 150,000 online. So we picked up all these energies, and when you just sit with these people and everyone is so high, like all speaks about multi-millions, billions, you just cannot think anywhere. You cannot think anything less. You just become the next person who is the average of that group, right? So it is really very powerful. And I appreciate everyone who is here in our panel discussion, because we're also creating a movement. Yes, we created the movement. This is something big. Something big will help people to express themselves, to be heard, to be seen. And also it will help people who are looking for mentor, for coach, for expert, and who can listen our panel discussion. He can choose who he resonate with and connect and also up-level his life. We all here are for transformation and for helping people. What common is between us, this is love to people, love to help, love to improve. Yes, because when we help other people to achieve their goals, we also achieve our goals. And this is one of the principles of success. I would like also to ask Daniel Kobryner to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here with this beautiful group and this wonderful energy. So I'm Daniel Kobryner, French. I live in the UK, and I'm a high energy life and business coach, and I'm as well an international motivational speaker. Before that, I ran different companies, and I developed business internationally for over 30 years. What I do now is I really help small business owners and entrepreneurs who feel stuck, who feel lost, who don't have a clear direction, to regain confidence, to regain clarity, to regain motivation, and to live a life of purpose, of meaning, and to be fully unstoppable. What's very important is really for people to have fun in what they do in life and to be fully themselves. This is what I'm doing. And just one thing, the power of Mastermind. This is so, I resonate so much with this. I'm part of different masterminds. Yesterday, I attended the same conference as Elena did online. This was so powerful. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you, Daniel. It is great to have you with us, and also we can share that excitement and energy with the rest of the group right today. And also, I see Alan joined us. Alan, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, Elena. Thank you. Sorry for being late joining. I've just been out, so just got back. And I'm Alan Edwards. I'm a Hampshire-based UK property investor and developer, and I advise people on all sorts of property strategies. But the main one I'm involved in is commercial to residential conversions. So this is taking unused or underused office buildings, for example, that are empty, or retail space that's empty, closed down care homes, and turning them into high quality residential accommodation. Thank you.
So much. Thank you, Alan. And we have also amazing moderator of our panel discussion who will help us to make the best experience of this event. And this is Roxandra Maria Nikita. Would you like to introduce yourself, Roxandra?
Of course. Hi, Elena. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I've been on a few panels already, and I have to say, I love this project. So I am originally from Romania, but I'm based in England since 2011. I work with moms in business. I work with women in business, and most of them are coaches or healers. So I am helping them with clarity, with stress management, and we do lots of activities, lots of events. I'm also a public speaker and a podcaster. And Masterminder definitely changed their lives, definitely changed my life, and being part of something so big, I will say it's big because it's going to change your life, that's for sure. So yeah, and also thank you as well, Elena, for inviting me to the 10X yesterday, that big conference. It was amazing, I have to say. Like Daniel mentioned, definitely I'm on the same frequency now. Love and money, same frequency energy. So today I'm like, yes, bring it on, bring it on. So we're going to have lots of fun today as well. And I can't wait to hear all your stories and everything you have to share.
Thank you, thank you. So everyone introduced themselves. So now it is time to get to the next step in our event, and this will be segment 1, where we will speak about the science of energy of Mastermind, the science and energy of Mastermind. And Roxandra will help us to be moderator. So Roxandra, I let you to run this event, and you can start with the questions.
Fantastic. So let's get started. So the science and energy of a mastermind, right? The first question, why do mastermind groups create an energetic frequency shift that attracts success, wealth, and transformation? Let's have Will Steele answering this first question.
All right, good. Well, I'm not a scientist, but I have worked with a lot of human beings, and the contrast would be, when somebody is being negative and someone is being, let's see, controversial, and basically pulling the energy out of the space or out of the conversation. You walk in the room, or they walk in the room, and you feel that, right? Where if you're in a mastermind, where people are in the mastermind to discover something new, to work out a solution to something they're dealing with or that somebody else is dealing with, then the energy is positive. The energy is focused. The energy is coming together to resonate at a frequency where we're up to something and we're looking together. And, when you put two minds together, you get three. So that collective energy really does support the power, what people talk about, the power of a mastermind. Well, it is the power of great minds coming together, connected with a common objective. So you might not come to the mastermind with the answers, but together you can focus and come up with and create together in that energy powerful solutions to whatever any one member might be dealing with, or you as a collective might be dealing with. So that would be how I would answer that question.
Thank you, Will. Thank you. Let's hear from Rich Kozak.
Will has been in a lot of rooms with a lot of people. Yeah, well, your landmark days, man, I'll tell you what, that's a lot of people. So I'm not a scientist either, but I have been blessed to study neurolinguistics programming. I'm actually a certified trainer of NLP, but I don't train. I use it to listen as a coach. And we learn we're talking about the shift, Roxandra. We learn in NLP that perception is projection. It took me a long time. I fought that, but it's like you can only see what you already know. So if somebody can help you see something you've never seen before, and now you know it, now you can see it. And so in a mastermind, when people share their experiences from different fields and different areas of expertise, we start to know more than we did when we began. And it starts to reframe how we see the situation we're in, or how we see ourselves, or how we see the world around us. And that reframing and that shift of what you perceive can be life-changing. So that's as close as I can get to the science part. Will's right on about the positivity. I mean, we all share love in different ways, but when it's in your heart to help someone else solve a problem and you bring what you know to it, it's amazing what can happen.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you. Now, Kamil Domski.
Hello. So it's a very interesting question, and probably once you start tapping into the science and the psychology behind it, you could probably go into the completely new field of different many things. But I can just elaborate a little bit on what Will said and what Rich said, because those guys are absolutely phenomenal at explaining this question. I would say Will touch base on the negativity versus positivity, and I want to just bring in a very sort of life-based example when we've got obviously some estates where you've got people with some problems, and let's say there is a baby born in a family with some problems. Then it naturally, when the baby grows in the environment with maybe some difficulties, maybe some negativity, then this mindset is very much set at that frequency. Now, on the flip side, if a baby is born in a very positive, open family, then naturally they have much more scope to open up and be more successful in life. And that essentially, this sort of environment dictates and determines where we are in terms of our mind frame, our energy, our frequencies. So in our mastermind group, we tend to bring in people who also have got a bit of a negativity and negative sort of mind frame when it comes to making more money. because what used to be a ceiling for those people, we tend to shift it to become their floor. And I think that's the power of the mastermind, and also the energy that we're vibrating, because somebody can be a negative person, but put that person in a group of positive people, and there is no way that this person will not start shifting towards the positive end. And that is definitely the power of masterminds.
Thank you, Kamil. Thank you. Now let's hear from Tony.
Yay, me. I'm going to hit you guys from a perspective of my ideas from when I was little. So I've fought in addictions and alcoholism for many, many years. I currently have 20 years sober, but I've been battling for over 40 years. So when I was born and raised, I had this conditioning of what I learned and who I learned it from. And until I was able to stop those thoughts and let a God of my understanding, a higher power, a universal energy in and speak to me, there was no way I could understand what anybody was saying, because my thoughts get me right where I am, and they're not going to get me any different results if I keep thinking them. As a matter of fact, I tried really hard to have the same thought, but have it twice as big or twice as aggressive. And it didn't get me anywhere any faster. So if I, for example, if I walked in this room today and nobody was here on this Zoom call, there's no way I could give. And giving allows me to receive. See, I sit here focused more on listening to you people, because you can bring me something that'll help me grow. And my life was, I knew it all, I understood it all, and nobody could tell me anything. And then once I realized that my thinking is crazy, and then a power bigger than myself could bring me to think better, then I could actually listen better. So I want to do a quick exercise if we could. If you close your eyes and you scream the word mastermind to yourself as loud as you can, but don't move your lips. And when you're done, open your eyes. Okay, so everybody scream the word mastermind. My 3 questions are: who said those words without using their lips? Who heard those words without using their ears? And who saw those words without using their eyes? That's the person I've been listening to lately, rather than my own thinking. And that person guides me to be here with you wonderful people today. And I think it's going to be an awesome mastermind. I look forward to many more of these with you guys. Thank you.
Wow, phenomenal. Thank you. So is that your inner voice that just talked?
It's my higher power.
Your
God.
higher self. Fantastic.
Yes,
Thank you
higher
so
self.
much. Thank you, Tony. Now let's bring on Deanna Pelley. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. I think one of the things that's so valuable about mastermind groups, even to what Elena was saying at the beginning, is it makes me think of a quote by a psychologist out in the Seattle area who says, "We need the mind of another to grow our own mind. We do so well when we are growing together." And I think entrepreneurs have a way of being kind of on a lone island. I think we're driven people. We're people who are oriented towards success. We're people who are used to kind of driving and steering our own ship. And there's a lot of value in that. But when it comes to getting groups of people together, as I heard even everyone introducing themselves, no one here is doing the exact same thing. And the value of understanding how someone else approaches or hearing someone else's ideas is so vital when it comes to driving your own ship and figuring out how to move your own path forward. Because I think we can get stuck sometimes in our own narrow view of things, that we forget to kind of zoom out and zoom wide to see a bigger picture. And so I find mastermind groups to be so valuable for that reason. And the other thing that I think is so valuable about mastermind groups is we realize that there's room for success for everyone. This isn't just for one person. We all have our own path to success, and there's room for everyone, and being able to support and lift each other in that drive is so important.
Brilliant. Thank you. And now let's hear from Elena.
My favorite book is Think and Grow Rich, and I read it daily. So I want to share with you some thoughts from this book, because Napoleon Hill was the person who introduced the concept of mastermind. And regarding to this question, he said that a group of electric batteries will provide more energy than a single battery. It's also a well-known fact that an individual battery will provide energy in proportion to the number of capacity of the cells it contains. As So when we speak about people who join together as mastermind, we are like batteries which are connected to each other, and this is how it becomes so powerful. And also he said here that a group of brains coordinated or connected in a spirit of harmony will provide more thought energy than a single brain, just as a group of electric batteries will provide more energy than a single battery. This is why I said that when we even thought about these questions, which we will discuss at this panel discussion, when we were thinking alone, we had some ideas, but today when we are connected, we can find out that we want to say something different. Yes, because this is how we pick up the energy, those frequencies of everyone who is participating. Through this metaphor, it becomes immediately obvious that the mastermind principle holds the secret of the power wielded by men who surround themselves with other men of brains. Yes, so here, as Kamil said, that of course we have to share the knowledge with people who are negative. Yes, it is our also we want to give, we want to help people. But when we speak about really mastermind and power, we want to be people who are in harmony. Yes, who are in harmony, who are hungry for success, who are committed, who are really hungry for no more, for growth. Yes, and who are positive, who also can support each other, because mastermind, and this is concept which is explained in Think and Grow Rich, that it is not just a gathering of people, or not like webinar, or just sharing information. This is group of people who are coming together with common purpose, with who have this certain goal, and they want to achieve their goal, and they come to group to pick up other people's brains. Yes, we pick up other people's brains because this is how we get ideas. Yeah, because our mind, we have conscious and subconscious mind. So conscious, something that we learn, that we listen, and when it is explained verbally. But most of the part of our communication happens at the subconscious level. And this is where our intuition comes. Yes, where our intuition picks up the frequencies, because thoughts, even people which they don't speak, but they have thoughts, right? And we can pick up everyone's thoughts who are in this group, and our intuition converts this to the thoughts. And this is how we speak. And in such a group, you can see that sometimes you just thought about something and the person said, yeah, especially when it is spontaneous and when it is just on go. Yes, so it is so many times when you communicate with person and you connected, you just excited, you discuss one topic, and then just you want something and he says, or then he says, oh, I thought that and you said. Yes, so this is how we connect in very different level. And this is so why it is so important to choose right people, to pick up those people who are already successful, who already want to be big, not be big because for themselves, but be big because of the value which they want to provide. And this is exactly people which we want to surround ourselves. And I really appreciate that today we have all these amazing experts and speakers who have passion and who have the knowledge and who have the love to share with the world. And the last one, what I want to share here also, here, this following. Men take on the nature and the habits and the power of thought of those with whom they associate in a spirit of sympathy and harmony. Yes, so this is so important. We have to make sure that we choose the right people with whom we are in spirit, with whom we are in harmony. So our energy, collective energy, just goes up. We don't let anyone to draw our energy. Yes, when we work with clients, yes, we are there. We create space for them. Yes, we give them. But when it comes to mastermind, we have to make sure that this is a powerful group. When we spend time together, everyone wins, and we also can give. Everyone comes to give, not just to take. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Elena. And now we are moving to question number 2. How do the laws of mind and the universe, vibration, attraction, and creation play a role in mastermind groups? And I will open up with my answer for this question, and then I will let Rich to come along. So let's talk about laws of mind and the universe. The easiest example I can give you, I will definitely encourage you to go and watch The Secret or read the book. This is what I will say changed my perspective about life. So The Secret, every single time when I watch that movie, I feel like I get different things out of it. So yes, whatever we have in our life at the moment, we attract it. We manifested that subconsciously or consciously. Whatever you want moving forward, you can manifest that as well, because the law of attraction is telling us whatever you want, you need to start doing in a way. You just have to think about it, feel it, fake it until you make it in a way. So this is what I will say. Surrounding yourself in a mastermind, that's phenomenal. That's the best thing you can do. Because if you're in a place now that nobody gets your vision, you can't really move forward. And it's okay for them not to see your vision, but it's much better if you have someone in your corner who sees a bit of your vision and can encourage you to go and grow. So yes, go and surround yourself with really, really amazing people who can add value to you. And also in the same time, we mentioned about networking, like I heard early on. So if you're part of a mastermind group, I would say that there's a space for really deep connections. And in the same time, you have those breakthroughs. And it's incredible how your life can change and your business as well, if you're in the right place. Thank you so much. And now let's hear from Rich Kozak.
Wow. This is a powerful question. I will just say in my 72 years, I've learned life is a team sport. We're not meant to do this alone. We're meant to connect with others in relationships, in families, in communities. We're not meant to do this alone. So the sharing and giving that happens in masterminds is congruent with the way it's supposed to be. I think one of the huge missing pieces is that we have a higher power to connect with. We're already connected. Sometimes we just block that connection, but we shouldn't. We get to ask what the outcomes can be. You know, one of the wisest books in the world, I happen to read it pretty regularly, says, man makes plans, but God determines the outcome. So it's like we need to make sure that we try to stay congruent with what we're here for and ask and focus on that. So life's a team sport. I'll leave it at that.
Excellent. Thank you. Now let's have Daniel.
Yeah. So the laws of the universe, they play a fundamental role, in a mastermind. In the question, we talked about, law of vibration, law of attraction, and law of creation. If we start with the law of vibration, it's about the energy of the thought. And Neville Goddard, he said that imagination is the starting point of all creation, and that really our emotions give our creative power. So the stronger we feel, the higher the vibration will be. And the great thing in a mastermind is that each individual arrives already with a certain vibration. But when the vibrations go together, it brings them to a higher level. It means it gives it more confidence, clarity, emotional momentum there. So this is for the law of vibration. In the law of attraction, it's really energy is attracting energy. And Bob Proctor, for instance, he said that the paradigms, which are really our deep-seated beliefs, they determine what we attract in our lives. So it helps us to challenge our old paradigms and transforming them into something which is very powerful. So when the members are together, they attract better circumstances and opportunities. And the last one, it's the law of creation. So then it's about really giving an harmonious coordination of knowledge and energy with a defined purpose. Inside the mastermind, there's a group mission, which is really above everybody's mission. And really, when members offer feedback, accountability, and creative energy, it increases the power of the group.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you, Danielle. Can we please, everyone, make sure you're unmuted unless you are the speaker on stage? Thank you. Appreciate it. Now let's have Tony. Let's bring on. Let's see, Tony, what do you have to say on this one?
I think that when we come to a room like this, if we're a little bit humble, then we can become vulnerable. And when we become vulnerable, we're able to receive the message. For so many years, I isolated and didn't allow people to come into my life. Now I join many a group. Although this is like the first mastermind, I'm really like blown away. Where's this been all my life? First of all, because I'm getting so much out of it already. But I look at life like straight ahead, and I try to expand my vision, my peripheral vision, and I can't see what's happening over here. But when I join a group like this, it seems like you guys can see the whole Tony. You know, you can see the whole me. Like I can't see me. And those thoughts and those ideas, and I'm hoping that in the future we can help Tony stay on track by all of your beautiful thoughts and wisdom that you bring to the room, so that I can see me better. Everybody said something today that I'm taking away from here, and without it, I wouldn't have it for sure. So I like to try to come to a room humble, and then open myself up to be vulnerable, so that I'm able to receive what you have to offer. That's what I got on this question.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for that. And now let's hear from Elena.
Yeah, I would like to contribute to this question by sharing how I understand the law of vibration. Many people from The Secret know about law of attraction. And law of attraction is the secondary law. And the first law is the law of vibration. What it means that everything vibrates, and the way how we think, we emit different frequencies. Our body sends the different frequency to universe. And we attract the exact energy which we send out. Yeah, this is how law of attraction comes, because what we send, we attract. We become magnet, energetic magnet for everything what we attract. So the law of attraction comes from law of vibration. When we understand that which vibration we are at, which frequency we are at, then we cannot allow ourselves, we cannot afford to be in different frequency, because we understand that the thoughts have the frequency. If we drop our thoughts, if we become sad about something or upset, it means that we drop energy. We will come from one channel where what we want exists. We will drop to different channel, which is everything which is sadness, all things negative exist. My daughter lost her ring today, and she got sad because she loved that ring very much. And I told her, you cannot be sad more than 1 second. 1 second, it is okay to be sad, because you understand that you put it in the wrong place, and you can learn the lesson. So the next second, you think what you learned the lesson, and this is you just paid your ring. It was just payment for the lesson, and you think how good you learned the lesson. Now you will not lose even more important things in your life. So all those negative things which happen in our life, we can accept them for a second. But if we keep them more than the second, it is like keeping hand on the hot stove. Yes, that instead of just take out hand and understand that it's hot, I don't want to put my hand, this will we will keep. And this is how people allow, when they don't understand the law of frequency, they allow themselves to stay in negative. They allow the outside world to control them, how they feel. But when we understand the law of frequency, we pick up it quickly. Yes, something happened. I don't want to let it to get me out of my frequency. We want to be in the high frequency because we have a big goals. And from energetic field, we have to match the frequency which is our goal at. Yes, and this is how Mastermind is so important, because all together it helps us to keep that frequency. It doesn't matter what happens outside, we keep our goal, we speak together, we support each other, we inspire each other, and this is what happens us to be always in high vibration, be more productive, focus on what we want, and help more people.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Elena. So now let's move on. Segment 2, the Mastermind.
Sorry. I see that Rich wants to share something important.
I'm going to piggyback on that. Please let me. From a practical standpoint, all the time, the simple question to somebody, picture what you love doing when you're thriving. Just picture what it looks like when you're thriving. The power that we've been given in our own imaginations is remarkable. So let's say they do that. Oh, yeah. And they describe it. When you say to them, and they're at a certain frequency, when you say to them, okay, what's the next level of thrive? Your imagination does it again. And that's in us. That's, so from a practical standpoint, I watched that law of frequency happen in an instant when someone allows themselves to use the power of their imagination. We have so much power in us, and we limit it. Anyway, had to say that. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Richard.
Don't do that to yourself. Just
yeah, thank you. And one more law I want to share with you, because it is so powerful. Yeah, and it is exactly like here. I cannot not mention it. This is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Yes, when we understand that everything physical comes from energy first. Yes. So everything what is in our world, physical world, first was created in the mind. So energy which we create in the mind transform into physical. So when we understand that everything what we have in our life is like we live in simulation, that this world doesn't exist outside of us. Everything what we see, what we attracted, yes. So what we have in our physical world, we attracted by the way how we felt. How we feel now will detect what we attract tomorrow. So when we understand this law, and this law of perpetual transmutation of energy says that energy flows through us, yes, to us and through us, and by choosing thoughts, we give this energy the physical form. So when we understand how everything is created, even today, you are here because somehow your energy attracted our collective energy, and we are here. Yes, because this is how it works. And also people who are watching us today, they also watching us for the reason, because they was looking for this information, and now they are in the right place to receive this information. Yes, so these laws are really play a significant part, and there are a lot of laws, and we can maybe set another panel discussion which we will dedicate just to the laws, and we discuss different laws, because it is a huge, and when we understand how the power of mastermind works, this is exactly when people have these thoughts, it is energy, collective energy is created, and we start doing things which we didn't do before, because we picked up different ideas which will materialize for us. Thank you.
Excellent. So segment 2, the Mastermind for business, wealth, and influence. The first question, how did the greatest minds, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, use the mastermind principle to create industries and fortunes? Let's hear from Will Steele.
Well, I haven't read the history of each one of those, apart from Reflected. I think it was Think and Grow Rich, or it was How to Win Friends and Influence People. One of those two books talks about Henry Ford particularly, and how I think he was taken to court, or they tried to make out that he wasn't really that smart, and he asked him a question, and he said, "No, I don't need to know the answer to that question. I just press a button, and I have someone who will tell me the answer to that question." So he surrounded himself with experts. He surrounded himself with genius, basically, which didn't make him a genius, except he kind of produced what he produced from surrounding himself with such intellect. And he also had the power of I mean, we were talking in the last question about energy, and he had the power of intention. So he had an intention to create an automobile engine that was one solid block, and the engineers told him he couldn't do it. He goes, no, just focus on that. That's all I want. And they kept making it out of one solid block, and it kept breaking. And he just stood in, no, it's got to be possible. You guys got to figure it out. And they, collectively at some point had a breakthrough, and they made something happen that none of them actually believed or knew how to do. So thought was created beyond what they could conceive as possible. And it came from an intention, like Henry Ford's intention to have this happen. This is going to be the next evolution. If we could have an engine that's all made in one block, we're going to save loads of money. It's going to be efficient. So I want that. Except no one knew how to make it, and everyone said it's not possible. And even his own engineers kept coming up against blocks and blanks and failing and wanting to quit, but he was just resolute. So, I mean, the question was, how do these great minds use the mastermind principle to create industries and fortunes? Well, there's not very many bigger fortunes for its period anyway than Henry Ford and Ford Motor Car. And yeah, I mean, it's just a great example of how someone caused a breakthrough in their industry simply by that intention, and then getting the best minds around it to work on it together to mastermind, if you like.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Elena, is there anything you'd like to add on this question?
Yes, actually, I want to comment on what just Will said, that they were coming to him many times, telling that it is impossible. They wanted to convince him that it is impossible. And every time when they telling him why it is impossible, he told them, continue working on them, continue on working on that till it becomes possible. So this is so powerful that sometimes we think that this is impossible, something for us. Yes. And the other, why it is important to be in mastermind, because we have to surround ourselves with people who believe in us. Yes, who believe first that it is possible, and the second that they believe in us that we can do that. Because just this idea already that from transforming from I cannot do it and I don't see how it can be possible, just idea to start thinking this is possible. They believe or somebody believe that I can do, maybe I can do. Yeah, so just starting changing the shifting from I cannot to I can already is as huge, because when you just shift your mind from I cannot to I can, this is how your mind, because it works like that, like search engine. Yes, it starts searching, you ask right question, it will start giving you right answers. So shifting from this is important. And regarding to this question also, again, I want to quote this book a lot today. I want to read a little bit here about Henry Ford. It is written here that it is a well-known fact that Henry Ford began his business career under the handicap of poverty, illiteracy, and ignorance. It is an equally well-known fact that within the inconceivably short period of 10 years, Mr. Ford mastered these three handicaps, and that within 25 years, he made himself one of the richest men in America. Connect with this fact the additional knowledge that Mr. Ford's most rapid strides became noticeable from the time he became a personal friend of Thomas Edison, and you will begin to understand what the influence of one mind upon another can accomplish. You see, again, from poverty, illiteracy, and ignorance, you just can think, how can one person have no money, have no education, not understanding much, and just from connecting with Edison, finding somebody with that big mind, yes, could influence. And this is again about GrowthCon, which I attended. The person who has 14 billions and came also from poverty. Yes, 13 kids, not having much, not having education, and he developed himself and became such a wealthy person, one of the wealthiest person in the world. So everything is power when we connect ourselves with the right people, with the right minds, and when we are open to receive. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. So now let's go to question number 2. What is the connection between high-level masterminds and financial abundance, and how can individuals tap into it? Let's hear from Kamil.
Yeah, another fantastic question. In fact, we only have fantastic questions today. But I wanted to just go back to a little bit of my story in my life, because I originally come from Poland. Now, the first business that I started was in my early 20s. And this business idea at that time for me was to deliver shopping to people's homes, because at that time, the big shopping centers like Tesco's, for example, they didn't have that service. And I found that there will be people who will need this service, especially people who are a little bit like immobile, people with some health issues and difficulties. So at that point, I had the idea, but I didn't have any business background or literally anything in that space. The concept was there, the idea was there, but for some reason that business didn't work out for me. And I think the main reason was that I didn't have anybody behind me, anybody who would support me, anybody who could guide me. And I certainly didn't have any kind of mastermind group in my life at that time. So the big lesson for me from that experience was that do not go into business without any preparation and without any support. So that lesson was harsh, it was painful, but it was also the best lesson that I received in my life. I moved on in my life, and the second business that I started was with a much better preparation. So it was with a lot more knowledge, a lot more support. There was a mastermind group behind it as well. And I felt that this time I'm not going to fail, because I've got everything that I was lacking in my first business, in my first circumstance. And yes, I wasn't wrong. So my second business did succeed. I built a nice property portfolio, giving me great income, and I still have it till today. So I just want to say, for whoever is listening, and maybe some people are actually maybe even thinking that the whole vibrating, the whole energy kind of stuff, maybe it's a little bit woohoo. The fact is, it's woohoo until you allow it to be a woohoo. But change this mindset, start believing it. Roxandra mentioned the book that's called The Secret. Absolutely, 100%. Start with the book called The Secret and let the magic happen. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that point.
Thank you, Kamil. Let the magic happen. I love that. Now let's see, Peter, can you share your input on this one, please?
Sure, Roxandra. First of all, Tony, I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you for sharing so personally. I truly admire your honesty, your determination, your commitment, and more importantly, also your vulnerability, because people can resonate with you. Okay, and when people resonate with you, that is one of the secrets of a successful mastermind. It's not just energy, it's the fact that people can resonate. That is so critical. Just imagine if we had jumper leads connecting Daniel and Tony and Alan and Will, Rich and Deanna, everybody here. We would all be bursting with energy, just like we saw with Elena when she first started today after coming from Grant Cardone's mastermind, right? Those things will happen, and you will actually really benefit from the whole process of a mastermind if you can resonate with them. If you can't resonate with them, you won't. It will fail. It will totally fail. I've been doing this for 35 years because I'm an oldie, Tony. I'm 20 years older than you, right? And all I can say to you is it is critical. If there's no resonance, doesn't matter how much energy is in the room, it's not going to work. The second thing is, when it comes to collective energy, and Will, you talked about having a specific purpose. That is so very true. If we don't have a specific purpose in a mastermind, we're all over the darn shop. You need to have a definite purpose and then go after it with an absolute dedicated, desired passion. If you're not prepared to do that and resonate and work with each other, again, nothing's going to happen. And then finally, the biggest issue of all, and Roxana, you just talked about it earlier, the secret. Okay, the secret was an absolute failure for millions of people. And the reason was because they never understood what they were talking about. They sat around and simply became junkies, right? They became junkies. And you know what? No action, no traction. They never took any action. They were expecting things to happen. They didn't understand the message of the secret at all. So all I'm saying is there, in order to make a mastermind successful, to achieve financial abundance, you need to have inspired, consistent, persistent action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Phenomenal. Now let's hear from Will Smith. Oh, sorry, I said Smith. To apologize there. Thank you, Will.
It's okay. It's been said quite a lot, many times, not just today. Yeah, I like that question, actually. I really like this question. What's the connection between high-level masterminds and financial abundance, and how can individuals tap into that? You know, I've been part of masterminds. I am still part of masterminds. This is a mastermind. But there's been some masterminds I've joined. It was quite expensive to join, you know, and having to justify putting that money in. However, you've got to jump if you want to be in that. If you want to be in that level of mastermind, you're surrounding yourself with people who either are at that level or can see the potential of being in that mastermind and the level that that could bring to their business, their life, or whatever the mastermind's about. Especially in this question, financial abundance. I joined the mastermind and I increased my revenue by the cost of the mastermind in like the first week. So in the first week, I made extra what I was going to make just if I'd have just carried on doing what I was doing, enough to cover the cost of the mastermind. So something happens when you join a mastermind, even though it may seem, you know, like, oh my goodness, to join that mastermind, something about having to go through that with yourself, you know, all of a sudden you jump over the wall, now you're in. You know, you've been trying to figure out how to get over this wall, but once you actually jump and you're in, now you're in. And now you can forget about all that, should I or shouldn't I? Now you're in, and your mind shifts. You shift into a new being able to see what you couldn't see before. I don't know how to put it quite into words, but all of a sudden you can see possibilities. All of a sudden you can see opportunities that you've been missing because you've been stuck in, you know, should I, shouldn't I don't know if I should do this. So there's no openness to receive, you know. And it's funny, I was listening to Esther Hicks yesterday, and it wasn't because I was coming on this mastermind, but you know, Esther Hicks channeled Abraham Hicks that they then got used for The Secret. So it's like where The Secret all came from was from Esther Hicks channeling Abraham Hicks, and they talk about intention, and they talk about allowing, and they talk about you know, intention, but it's all this energy, and when you're chopping up in the mind, this energy is not flowing or it's not receiving. So you know, just kind of, I would say, grappling out loud as opposed to thinking out loud about the connection between high-level masterminds and financial abundance, and how individuals can tap into that. How you tap into that is you do it. You just have to step through whatever you need to step through, find the resources, the time, the money, whatever you need to do to be in there, if you want to produce the kind of results that the people in that mastermind are producing. I think that's it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Will. Thank you. Appreciate it. Now it's my turn to answer this question. Looks like. Yes. Okay. Very short. What I will say from my experience, back in 2016, when I started my first e-commerce store, I felt like I was doing the right thing because everything was pretty new, the drop shipping back then. I had a really successful store, it was really good. And I did surround myself, and I learned from the best, I would say, from the best in the industry at the time. But what I did wrong, I joined that particular masterminder, which was phenomenal. And then I thought that it's going to be great if I would join another one and another one and another one. So I got to a stage when I was part of, I think, 3 or 4 very, very, very impactful, I would say, masterclasses, masterminders, really good communities, but for all different things. So one of them was about sales, one of them was about scaling, one of them was more about the strategies behind how to, you know, how to attract good investors and all sorts of things. And for me, it was too much. For me, it was too much at once. So just this is what I wanted to say. Yes, you can get that financial abundance, that's for sure. But if you spread your energy too short, then actually you can do yourself a disservice. So just be careful, I will say, and how many communities you join at once, and where is your focus, because you want to make it as a successful thing for you. That's perfect. Now, let's see. We have also Alan. If Alan can join in as well to answer this question, please.
Sure. Thank you, Roxanne. I think that synergy is something that comes to mind for me, that when you get a collection of masterminders focusing on a particular problem, you can get a better solution from the synergy effect from the contributions of all the people involved. So to me, I belong to a number of mastermind groups, and I found that I can get information which will benefit me, and I can think about things in a different way as a result of interacting with the other members of the mastermind group. So certainly I've found some sort of very powerful ways forward with the sort of thing that I do by participating with people who are more advanced than I am. And I've actually seen the logic in doing what they're doing. So there are a lot of problems with property development and so on, with employment of contractors and so on. And so you can actually make money from property by taking things to a different level, where you trade not at the level of getting things done on site, but you trade in shares of property companies and trusts. So this is a different way of making money, and it's something which I wouldn't have actually arrived at if it weren't for participating in one of the masterminds that I do. So that's an example for me of the benefits of being in a mastermind group such as this. Thank you.
It's great. Thank you, Alan. Now let's move on segment 3, the mastermind and quantum leaps in personal power. So let's see here. How can a mastermind group dissolve limiting beliefs and reconstruct an identity of absolute success? Deanna Pelley, the stage is yours.
I think something that's important when thinking about limiting beliefs is that when we are born, we aren't born with limiting beliefs. Those are almost always something that are taught to us or something that are modeled to us early in our development that we internalize really strongly. And so I think when it comes to mastermind groups, sometimes what helps us is when other people are able to see and voice what we're doing well and what they feel inspired by in us or what they notice in us, because it's hard for us to see that in ourselves sometimes. And so when someone else is able to notice that you're achieving success in a certain area, or that you have a specific aptitude for a specific area as you move your business forward, there's something that's very empowering about that. And I think when it comes to dissolving limiting beliefs, there's also nothing more empowering than understanding where your limiting beliefs come from and learning that they aren't from you, and you get to take agency over what you believe to be true about yourself and identify what you believe to be true about yourself. Because generally speaking, that's the stuff that I think moves us and propels us forward.
Excellent, thank you. Kamil Domski, would you like to add your input on it?
Absolutely, yes. So I think Deanna would just nailed it very, very much, and I just want to sort of give a bit of perspective for how the human brain actually works, because yes, especially when we are young, we create a lot of beliefs in our minds, and that's obviously dictated by the environment, what we hear, what we see, and obviously everything that surrounds us. Now, I would probably put a phrase that the human brain is like a sponge, right? It takes anything that's around, and that's how it shapes the actual mind. It's not easy to actually change the limiting belief. It's a process. It's nothing that you can just flick your fingers and all of a sudden you just completely changed your paradigm. It doesn't work like that. But the good news is that yes, there are definitely masterminds, there are definitely groups, there are definitely techniques and methods. For example, listen to Tony Robbins. He talks a lot about limiting beliefs and eliminating them and replacing them with new limiting beliefs, so not limiting beliefs. So so the key thing is really just to look for a change, being aware that yes, of course, something is limiting us because clearly we're not achieving the result that we want. And then associate some form of pain to where we are today and associate some form of pleasure to where we want to be. This way, we're going to be able to eliminate something that holds us back and see where we are aiming to be in the future by feeling the pleasure. And again, when we sort of visualize that future ourselves, one of the very popular, maybe not popular, but very strong exercises is the Dickens process. Whoever heard of Dickens process before, is actually a great exercise for eliminating limiting beliefs and replacing them with new systems. So yeah, I would leave it at that.
It's great. Thank you, Kamil. And now let's hear from Rich.
Wow. So I ran a high-tech ad agency for 20 years, and I didn't know anything about limited beliefs. Once I went through a bunch of self-development work. I was with Harv Eker, Will. It wasn't with your guys, but it was what's in your mind is in your life and all that wonderful stuff. I learned how to think like that, talk like that. And then I studied NLP and became a certified trainer, and I watched people identify and release limited beliefs by practicing timeline therapy, and literally watched the process of how instantaneously something that someone had held on to, their unconscious mind had prevented from sharing with their conscious mind, and all of a sudden the conscious and unconscious connect, and you say, do you want to test that? And they go, yeah. And you go, think of a specific time, and they go, I can't pull that back up. And you realize how quick it can happen. Frankly, I don't know if it can happen in a mastermind. I just don't know. I don't know scientifically, but I know how quickly it can happen, and it is a God gift. It's an amazing thing, and Deanna probably shaking her head, realizing how powerful our minds are when they're ready to work for us instead of against us or to protect us. So I will say this: that when I sent this to Roxanne earlier, when we realize that solutions are already there, sometimes we can't see solutions. We just think about our problems or our fears or our limits or, where our situation. But when we become aware that solutions are already there, it removes the barrier that we have in our mind that keeps us from acting, from taking action. Example, and I'll get off of this. We talk about The Secret, phenomenal book. There's a book by Peter Diamandis called Abundance. It was written in 2014. Now it's 10 years later. That book was like, look, there's a lot of technologies in all these different areas of life, in all these different areas of all these different industries. And these technologies have absolute rapid geometric growth and have possibilities to solve world problems in ways that we never imagined they were solvable. Matter of fact, most people say, well, we're never going to solve that. Oh boy, the world's going to hell. We'll never solve that one. And he writes this whole book and he goes, so let's take water, let's take energy, let's take this, let's take education of people in poverty-stricken, places far, far away. It's like, no, there are people that are already overcoming this. And you start reading it and you go like, we can do anything. Yeah. That process of knowing that I just hold myself back. Like, wow, if I can just imagine that it's already out there, that is a change moment. Whether it's for somebody to see that there's an umbrella brand above what they think they do for a living, but they really stand for much more than that, and what they're put on the earth is way bigger than that, and they realize, oh, I have an umbrella brand. That moment, which happens in my business, or if it's a technology or something where a society is holding itself back because it feels itself limited and it's not solvable. Either way. Huge. So that can happen in a mastermind where somebody sees something somebody else doesn't, or knows it already and can speak to it. And those moments can dissolve the barrier around the thought, and you can't have that same thought anymore.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you. Alan, would you like to
Thank you,
go
Roxanne.
ahead?
Yes, I concur with Rich on that point, and particularly once you have that awareness, which you can get from a mastermind, then you can recognize that you may have limiting beliefs of your own, and by focusing on them, you can actually change the way that you think and eradicate those limiting beliefs. And I've certainly done that working in this group with Elena. So I totally concur with what Rich has said, and Masterminds are very powerful in that regard, raising awareness and enable you to focus on the way that other people look at problems, and to be able to see that you can also look at those problems in the same way, that you don't necessarily have to have a limiting belief. It's just the way that you have been thinking that has led you to that conclusion. So yeah, that's my addition to what Rich has said, but totally agree with Rich. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Elena, is there something else you'd like to add?
Yes, for sure. Nobody is born with limiting beliefs. You just look at the small children. They just believe everything is possible. They have the biggest, wildest dreams. They say, I will be spaceman, or I will be that singer, and there is no limitations. All limitations are acquired. Yes, they came to us from other people, how they told who we are. And the self-image is the huge, because self-image controls our results, because self-image is the part of those called paradigms, yes, those programs which identify our behavior, and most of our behavior is habitual. And this behavior, this habitual behavior is controlled by self-image. And just think about this, that we didn't create this self-image for ourselves. What we think about ourselves was created by other people, by our parents, by our teachers, by somebody else who was with us when we were infants, and by age of 5 years we already had that fixed picture how we saw ourselves. And that is why Mastermind is so important, because other people can see us much bigger even than we see ourselves. Other people can see our big potential, especially if we choose the right people. They can help us to see much bigger picture, much further where we can go. And again, we can borrow their belief in ourselves. If we don't have that belief yet, we can borrow other people's belief and see that if they can see, so maybe I can see that also, maybe I can do. And when we just start shifting our mind again that it is possible, everything is possible. Yes, everything becomes possible when we believe. Of course, because another ingredient is belief. We have belief in ourselves and faith in God, that if we have good intention, if it is really for benefit, everything is possible. And we are conditioned to think very limited. All this conditioning, all this limitation, they are like viruses. They are like viruses. Our DNA is perfect, and all these different failures when we failed before, all those things maybe the teachers told us when we made mistake, or when we didn't maybe knew the information which we had, all this impacted our subconscious mind, and this is how self-image got formed. So in Mastermind we can pick up so many other people's brains and start seeing, oh, this person says he has such a big goal, so he sees that it is possible. So what is my goal? Maybe I have to question my goal. Maybe I have to think bigger. Yes, so being in this environment, it will propel us to think bigger. Yes, and when everyone grows, and when we are surrounded with people with big goals, we cannot think small. We cannot think small. We just will be again moving forward and grow with other members of the group.
Absolutely. Thank you, Elena. And now I would like to mention something as well about the other half of the question, which is about the identity and success. So what I see very often when I work with my clients, it's a case of they feel lost. They don't know who they are because they are wearing so many hats, they have so many roles, and they don't really know who they truly are in business or in their personal life. So I think this is where probably you have to spend some time and ask yourself, who are you and who do you want to become? And ask those deep questions like, how a day in your life will look like if no limitations will be around you, no limitations whatsoever, what you're going to drive, what you're going to wear, how you're going to walk, what you're going to eat, what you're going to do, and once you have a better understanding of that, then it's so much easier to step into that. And success, again, what success means to you. Is it money? Is it freedom? Is it time? Is it whatever it is? So I think it's quite important to focus on the importance of those words, so then you know exactly what do you want to accomplish, and that masterminder can actually offer you that if you're in the right one, in the right place. Now let's move to question number 2. What are the non-negotiable principles of a powerful mastermind that turns ideas into reality? And let's hear from Daniel.
It's a very good question. Thank you. One of the most important points for me is really to embrace an environment which is high energy, which is uplifting. What's the power of the group is that really that everybody gives the best out of themselves. Some people are more shy than others. The idea is really to encourage people, really to speak up and there's this power of listening to each individual without judging, without criticizing. It's really embracing this. And of course, it's like brainstorming as well, same principle. And when we do that, when we embrace as well a growth mindset where we really want to we are humble, we want to learn, we can make mistakes and it's all right. And then we encourage other people to take action. Peter speak about this. Taking action is really so important. It's really to start something, to go on. And when we do that, and when everybody holds others accountable, this is very important as well. We need, we commit on actions, we commit on deadlines, and we've got others who are there for us. We are there for them, we are there for us. So it's really creating this climate where everybody is going to thrive and to increase the level of energy.
Great. Thank you, Daniel. Now let's hear from Peter.
In the interest of time, because we're over time, I'll make it really quick for us. Okay. First of all, you need to know exactly what you want. If you don't have a crystal clear vision, you're just playing business, you're not building one. Secondly, you need to hang around with people who talk about execution, not excuses. If you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. Thirdly, you need to make decisions quickly. Don't sit around thinking about it, because nothing's going to happen. And finally, you need to implement as quickly as you can, because if you don't, you're just going to be a dreamer, not a wealthy person that you want to be. So I'm having trouble breathing. I'm not very well. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Now let's move into segment number 4, building and sustaining an unstoppable mastermind. What are the key structures, disciplines, and commitments required to make a mastermind group unstoppable? Let's start with Kamil.
Oh, wow. Okay, so here it comes. I think there are 2 key ingredients to successful mastermind. First of all, there has to be a very good person in the right place who is also a leader. Somebody who's got a vision and who wants to really just create this environment of like-minded people. The other thing that's essential, that's like that completely non-negotiable thing in a successful mastermind is people who are coachable, people who are willing to change, people who want to learn more, people who want to become more. Because otherwise, if there is a group of people who are happy where they are and you just put them, you force them to be in that mastermind, they will spend a lot of time in that mastermind and probably nothing will change for them. So yeah, absolutely. The person who is joining has to feel the vibe, has to feel that they are in the right place. They have to be 100% coachable. They have to be open for whatever is waiting for them. They have to understand that first and foremost, their result is what matters the most. And the means to it, provided by the mastermind, they just have to be open for that concept. And then the person who is doing the actual mastermind, that person has to be a leader. That person has to have the approach where that person is introducing the new levels of energy, something that probably those people never experienced before. They will start vibrating on completely different frequencies. And yes, on top of that, that person have to create a nice environment, a nice group, but also have to have the ability to reach every single person individually. Because that person should be able to pick out where individuals are struggling. They need to detect it, and they need to bring up whatever is bothering them, bring it out, and maybe even resolve that in the environment of mastermind. That's what I would say is a strong structure of a successful mastermind.
Thank you, Kamil. Now let's hear from Will Steele.
Okay, so what are the key structures, disciplines, and commitments required to make a mastermind group unstoppable? Well, I like what I think Kamil said about having a leader, someone who's got a clear purpose, a clear intention for the mastermind, and then also that there are specific agreements that everybody makes who's in the mastermind, like attending, being on time, not speaking over each other. things to make it work so that everyone's in the conversation. There's one person speaking and everyone has their attention on what they're saying, allows for the next person who speaks and to forward the conversation. So one of the disciplines that makes a group unstoppable is not an argument. It's a creation of either an idea or something that we're committed to accomplishing, and it's forwarding that thought, forwarding that idea, the conversation, which does take standing outside of the normal mind and identity of thinking the opposite or arguing or trying to be right or prove your point, to being committed to the intention of the mastermind being fulfilled. And that, if everyone in the group agrees to that and honors that and actually is there for that, that makes that group unstoppable.
Fantastic. Thank you, Will. Thank you for that. Now, Daniel, would you like to add anything on this question?
A lot has already been said, but consistency is key. So, for instance, having clear dates every week, every 2 weeks, every month that we know, having a very clear agenda, celebrate the wins. For instance, what happened between the last time and now, and have a clear agenda, have clear actions going forward. And last point, it's really ensuring emotional safety, that people feel safe to share and to give the best of themselves so that they really can be fully authentic.
Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. And Elena, let's hear you as well, please.
Yes, I want to share concept of Napoleon Hill, who introduced Mastermind. So Mastermind is the group of people where everyone comes to hear the perception of other people. For example, you have the problem or you have the challenge, you're not sure what to do, like how to make your decision, and you need somebody's other brains, yes, to give you different perspectives. And so when we come in Mastermind with that idea that it is the place, the space where everyone is vulnerable, everyone shares what help he needs. Yeah, we come with two purposes. Yes, everyone comes with to share and receive other perceptions, and another is to help other people who came with the same goal. Yes, to learn something, to get idea. So here the discipline, what is this or rules of Mastermind, is that everyone comes not in order to get something. Yes, everyone comes in order to give. Yes, so when we come and we bring some situation, we want others to help us. Yes, so everyone says the situation or ask the question about particular situation, and other people are listening. Yes, other people listening to him, and this is how all these minds come together, because everyone will tell their perspective, how they see how they would do in this situation. Yes, and they only listen to each other. And this is how collectively everyone gains, not only the person who came with a certain question, yes, or certain problem, but everyone shares. And this is how we hear about different. We see who has which problem. Yeah, like the bigger success, people have different problems. So this is how we also grow, and everyone comes to contribute. Yes, to contribute, to be valuable part of this mastermind group. This is how everyone will get massive value. And also another, of course, non-negotiable, that nobody comes to judge someone. Yes, there is no judgment. There is only the will to understand, to help, to support, to uplift, to inspire. And this is how everyone will come from this session so uplifted, so confident, yes, so with more even bigger perspective than he came to this lesson. This is what means powerful mastermind.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elena. And I have to say that you said it out there. It's nothing I can add. Literally, you read my mind. What I wanted to say was exactly the same thing. I'm always thinking about bringing value. Whenever I'm in a community or in a mastermind, I'm always focusing in helping others more than actually helping myself, because by helping others, this is how I get help. If makes sense. And it's always the case for the clients as well. I do the same. Make them successful, and then your success will come. So right now, the last question, we're going to have Rich answering this last question, which is, how does a mastermind group ensure generational impact, turning today's ideas into tomorrow's legacies? Rich, the stage is yours.
Well, lots of ways, but I think the word wisdom comes to mind quickly. I had written down in response to that last question that if editorial and opinion was not really acceptable because we want to share wisdom and perspective. Steel sharpens steel. There you go, Will. It's like we make each other stronger as we share the things we know. The wisdom that we have that came from all the mistakes we've made or seen, even vicariously, but wisdom and perspective literally gives the next generation, someone who is 20 years, 40 years younger than, puts them on another level and enables them to do the same thing. So sharing wisdom and perspective is generational. And I think the practicing of behavior patterns, I wrote down the term for the leader, caringly disarming, because it's a safe space, because the members get to feel vulnerable or not. When the leader is caringly disarming, and the agreement is that we stay in that mindset of of generously sharing what's in the best, what we know is in the best interest of others. It's infectious. It will grow like a forest fire, and passing it on makes it generational.
That's great. Thank you, Rich. Thank you so much. And now the microphone is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Yes, this is amazing. I think amazing event which we had, and everyone shared your perception, and it is very powerful. Yes, so we didn't have just a discussion; it was really transmission of power. Yes, and masterminds create empires, masterminds create movements, masterminds creates the impossible. Yes, everyone can be a part of the group where everyone can grow and benefit. All quantum leaps happen with masterminds. No one can achieve big success when he is alone. All big successes, all big empires, all big wealth is built as a result of mastermind. And the Circle of Fame is where we want to connect and invite the world-class experts who have the knowledge, who have the power to transform people's life, who have the passion to help people, who have the passion to make this world better, because we really understand that even one person can make a difference. Everyone should have his voice, and together we can do much more than what we can do being alone. So welcome everyone to join our Circle of Fame, and of course, who is listening to the panel discussions, you can connect with everyone who you resonated the most, connect with our amazing experts, because each of them has so much to give to you and so much to help you to transform your life.